Hello ladies and gents, Jeff back here with another video for you guys. Happy New Year. We are now into 2022. This video is, as always, coming a little later than I expected. I actually got really sick. My wife and I got really sick over New Year's, just after Christmas. We kind of got you-know-what symptoms, and it was just a disaster. And interesting that it happened because the same exact thing happened to me the year prior, right at the same exact time. So certainly hoping this doesn't become the new tradition for me. I hate being sick. Not much else that I hate much more than being sick. So in any case, I am definitely well enough now. I've recovered enough to bring an update to you guys. Obviously being sick, I was not able to be out here in the garage as often as I wanted to, but I did get out here and get more progress done on the car as much as I could, enough to now have an update for you guys to show you. So thank you guys who have stuck with me, and I know a lot of you probably been wondering where's the next update video. It's supposed to be up by now, but here it is, and this is a big one. You guys are really gonna like this one because this is one of the biggest pieces of the entire build that I have recently completed, at least in the preliminary stage. There are going to be some extra little pieces that I'm still going to add to it over time, but the most of it is all done, and I have it ready to show you guys. So this is going to be a really big video. I mentioned to you before that in my opinion, the front bumper is the most important part of any good body kit. I think that if the front bumper is nice, it can really save a lot of the rest of the body kit. And so I definitely wanted to pay very special attention to the front bumper on the new body kit that I'm building for my Z, and that is why it took me a long time to get the bumper to the state that it's in right now. And I took a lot of time in the concept phase. I wanted to make sure it was something that I liked and not just something that was cool according to the trends or what other people thought or what popular bumpers look like or anything like that. I really took the extra time to make sure that it was something that I want to see on my car, something that if it was a dream bumper, you know, I wanted to make my dream bumper. And so I'm really satisfied with the way it turned out. I think I nailed it according to my tastes, and over all the years of me seeing all different kinds of aero, all different kinds of body kits from all over the world really, I can honestly say that this is a culmination of all of my experience when it comes to aero parts, at least the front bumper anyways. If you guys have seen some of my previous videos, you've already seen pieces of the rest of the kit, the side skirts and the fenders and things like that. And the same is true for those pieces, but none more so than for the front bumper. And so I am very happy and excited to show you guys what the front bumper of the Z33 Excelsior kit is going to look like. I am sure that when you guys see this, you're going to see little bits of inspiration from certain bumpers. It's just inevitable because, as I said, I've taken so much inspiration, not only in the bumper itself, but also in all of the other pieces of the kit, as I've explained in those videos. Little bits and pieces from, you know, this designer or this kit or this, you know, so-and-so. And so inevitably you guys are going to see some inspiration from some other bumpers, but I also think that at the same time it is so vastly unique and different than anything else you've seen, especially for the Z33, that at the same time you're going to be able to say that there's nothing like this bumper, again, at least for this car, this platform. So I just love the fact that you can see the inspiration, but at the same time it's completely unique and one-off, and it just came out great. So without further ado, I'm going to show you guys what the new front bumper looks like for Project Zailas Excelsior. Check this out. Oasis base.
Somebody else, it could be anyone else out there.
Alright guys, so there it is. Here is the new front bumper for Project Zailas Excelsior. Pretty wild, right? Pretty extreme. Of course it had to be insane. You guys knew it had to be insane. Especially if you've seen the design of the fenders and the side skirt, the rest of the kit thus far that I have revealed. You guys knew the front bumper just had to be insane, and so there it is. Now, some of you guys may have pointed this out. I know a couple of my buddies have already right when I showed them. It was one of the first things that they said, and I was delighted that they said it because it was definitely a big part of the inspiration when I started the design on this, is that, of course, I love Japan. I love Japanese style. I love everything, both current, modern, and also historically, Japanese style and design aesthetic has just been wonderful to me. And we all love samurai, right? We love samurai. They're so cool, especially the armor and all that. So that was a huge inspiration for me when I went into designing the front bumper of this car. Really the whole kit, but particularly the front bumper. When you imagine a samurai helmet, you know that they get quite ornate sometimes. They have all this stuff going on the sides, everything through the top and everything. They look really awesome. One of my favorite parts of any complete set of samurai armor, or complete helmet rather, is that they have the mask that they wear from time to time, and that's called a menpō. And I really wanted to catch that menpō type of look. I wanted my Z to look like it was actually wearing a badass looking menpō. So you can see, especially from some of the side angles and 3/4 angles and stuff like that, very angular, very sharp, very Japanese samurai armor type of look to it. And I hope you guys can see that coming through in the design. So let's talk about a couple of the cool features in this bumper. So obviously one of the big huge things that's going to stand out right away is the massive canards, the double set on both sides that you see there. Again, that's very samurai type of mask type of look, very inspired by that whole design aesthetic. I also got a little bit of inspiration from an old R34 GTR model that I had that was actually a model of a GT500 car that raced in Japan quite a few years back, that had really big chunky canards like this on either side of the bumper, and I really liked that. But on that car they were very square, very basic looking, obviously very purpose built specifically for racing. No real aesthetic intended with those. So I wanted to kind of capture the canard look, but I also wanted to capture the great Japanese style design aesthetic with it as well. So you can see a lot of curvature, a lot of character put into those, carved right into those. That of course also matches the design of the triple kind of katana blade design that I have on the front fender, which is going to sit directly behind this bumper here. So it matches, it flows from the front fender all the way up through the front bumper as well. Really like how those came out. You can see within the canards here, we have a massive inlet on both sides. This is where the primary air comes in through the sides of the bumper, and that of course ducts right back to the brakes in the front wheels. Same thing with these smaller ducts that are built right into the integrated lip of the bumper as well. There's also ducting, 2 ducts on the side, on both sides of the bumper there, that flow perfectly in between the canard setup. Below the second canard here, this is kind of a vortex generator, a natural vortex generator, where the wind is going to come up and get caught and pushed right back out through the bumper there. And any wind that comes in through the side is going to come right through the side winglet recess right there. So a lot of functionality also in this bumper, very aerodynamic, especially through the side. You can see it's very sharp, very pointed. And so I wanted to capture form and function in one package. We also obviously have the opening here in the front here that was put just above the open mouth of the bumper, and that's going to allow a lot of air to come in through and hit your intakes or your front mount intercooler or whatever you got. You're going to get a lot of airflow in through there. And of course the mouth is just huge. I wanted to make sure we had a large open mouth. I went ahead and deleted the hump section that you typically see on like the Nismo bumper or N3R style bumper. Typically there's a hump in the middle, and you can see that on my car also. The previous version maintained that hump in this style of bumper, and I went ahead and deleted that and went with a brand new fully refabricated flat floor for the front mouth. And then I also refabricated all of this section, is all brand new as well. That flows back up into the intercooler or the core support of the car, the radiator core support. So that's all brand new. Again, the lip is fully integrated in. That's not it's not a separate piece, a separate unit. It's all one piece. Even the side winglets and everything is all molded into the bumper itself. If you look at this area of the bumper right here, you can see some really nice design work. This whole section here is kind of an embossed type of look where you have the recessed area here, very reminiscent of what you would see in like a Voltex bumper, either for the Z33 or the S2000, for example. This is a very similar type of a design that they have on those bumpers that I wanted to capture in this bumper as well. And this is actually going to play, this section here and here is going to play into the new hood design. I have decided to definitely do a new hood for the kit as well, and so I finished the bumper off with those raised areas that are going to go right up into the new hood that you will see in the near future. So that is the new front bumper for Project Zailas Excelsior. I do plan on getting this bumper finished off and adding a few extra little pieces for it as well. I actually have a little mini mock-up. This is just a little cardboard mock-up of an extra canard piece that I am going to be adding. It's very preliminary, and this is not final by any means, but I'm going to be adding something like this to here. So I'll bring the camera over here so you can kind of see what that's going to look like. So you can see something like this. So I'm going to have pieces that are going to be accessory pieces. You don't necessarily have to have them on the bumper, but you can see that's going to add just a little bit of extra flair. Again, this is very, very preliminary. It's not final at all. It's going to be a lot more extravagant than this, and I am thinking of a way to possibly connect this section down, even down here further. Or I haven't finished the design on that yet, but that is definitely floating around in my mind. There will be extra pieces to this bumper, but for the time being, the base is set. This is where it's at, and I'm very, very, very happy with the way it turned out. Alright, so I hope you guys like it. Do bear in mind that it is just in raw primer right now, so you could see a few different shades of color on it, and it hasn't been wet sanded or anything yet. I literally just finished this up, got primer on it just a few days ago, so it's still very rough around the edges, so do bear with me in that regard, but I hope you guys like it. That is one of my favorite pieces already of the kit, no doubt about it. I cannot wait to get that on the car with the rest of the pieces and everything together. It's going to be awesome. I hope you guys will agree. And before we wrap this up, I'm just going to show you briefly what else I'm working on. I decided in between, again, when I was sick, I couldn't really do a whole lot of work, so I kind of spent a lot of that time thinking more about the rest of the car. And what came to mind was the wing setup in the back. Now, I love the wing setup that I have already, that I've been running. That's a it's a Rocket Bunny ducktail wing, but also with an integrated GT wing from Ray's factory. Absolutely love that setup. I have from the time that I first thought about it, gosh, 2.5 years ago, and put it on the car, and I still love it just as much today. But I knew that with all this new stuff that I'm building, the new kit and all that, the refresh with the car, I couldn't just leave the wing setup completely alone. Had to do something. The whole thing's got to be new. And so I started thinking, what am I going to do to freshen up the wing setup? So what I decided to do was I wanted to keep the same general style. I wanted the ducktail and the GT wing combo. Wanted to keep that because it's just become iconic for my Z. It's become iconic at this point, and I love the look of it. But what I decided to do was nix the Rocket Bunny ducktail and go with a completely new design of a ducktail wing. And I'm also going to be switching up the GT deck. And the designer, Ray's factory, Rainier, has actually designed a new version of the same wing that I've been running, only it's way better. It's wider, and it's in carbon fiber and all that stuff. So I'm going to be upgrading to the new design of the same deck. I get to use the same stands, which is cool. I don't have to change my wing stands, and I don't want to change them because I love them so much. But the deck is going to be wider, it's going to be carbon, and it's got a few little new sharp designs, and it's just going to fit perfectly with the new kit. So I figured with the new deck and with the new ducktail, it's really going to spice things up again in the rear with the new bumper also, of course. Keep that in mind. So I went ahead and nixed the Rocket Bunny. There it is. This is the old Rocket Bunny ducktail that I've had on the car. It's for sale, by the way, in case anybody wants a 3-piece Rocket Bunny wing. If they want to do a similar setup as me with a GT wing, especially a Race Factory, it's cut to fit Race Factory wing stands. So if you got a Race Factory GT wing and you want to run a similar kind of ducktail slash GT wing combo setup, I got that for sale as of January 20th, 2022. So that is for sale. If you guys want, first person to bring me like $100, you can have that. But I switched now to a new style of ducktail wing, and that is, and this is not done yet, this is all work in progress, a Mercury Z Project ducktail wing. So there's the new one. You can see there's a lot of fiberglass and stuff on it, a lot going on, a lot of dust and fiberglass and stuff up on my GT wing. But here is the new ducktail. This is again by Mercury Z Project in Japan. I really, really love this even way more than the Rocket Bunny wing. It fits so much better. It's the actual shape of the wing stands. You can see it comes up perfectly. It matches very, very closely to the shape of the wing stands there, instead of the Rocket Bunny one, which didn't really match it. The Rocket Bunny one kind of sits back more like that and didn't really match the actual lines of the wing stands themselves. But this one actually matches the wing stands perfectly. It comes up a little bit more, which is great because that also matches my new roof spoiler that I designed, and it's all coming together just perfectly. I've already cut it in 3 pieces and I'm already in the process of getting that all cinched together. It's taken a lot of work, and again, I've been sick, so it's been kind of a nightmare as I try and scoot back here. There's not a lot of room back here, but here you can see I've got all this curing up right now. I've got this, I like to keep all my lines and everything really crisp and really tight. I don't like any gaps, so you can see here in my wing stands I'm making sure that there is no gappage in between these pieces of the wing. So when you first do your initial cut on it, it's really difficult to get it exactly right because you can't really account for any kind of wavering. If the wing stands are slightly tilted or anything, you're always going to end up with some gaps after you make your cuts. So that's when you go back in and you fiberglass, you fill up the gaps to get that perfect fitment that I require. Certainly now with this new version of the cars coming up, I'm settling for nothing but perfection at this point. So here's the new wing setup. I'm also going to be doing some extra modifications to this. I'm not going to disclose just yet, but that was another big part of the reason why I wanted to switch the ducktail. Is this one, the Rocket Bunny one, is actually a polyurethane wing that I couldn't modify. I couldn't add any fiberglass to, obviously, because it's kind of rubberish. Polyurethane is kind of a rubber type of material, and the new one is fiberglass. So I can modify that to my heart's content, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I have a lot of fun plans to spice that up even more. So the wing setup is going to be just as dope as the rest of the car now. You guys should be very excited. I'm very excited, and we're moving right along here. I'm telling you, this is the year, guys. This is the year. Siege Style has been gone for a minute, but I am coming back, and this is the year. Here's our new bumper. You guys have seen the other stuff. If you haven't yet, go back and watch those other videos. The only thing I haven't shown yet is the rear bumper. I got a couple things I'm doing on that still. I was sick, so I couldn't work on the rear bumper, but that's my next thing up on my docket after the wing, and then you guys will get a rear bumper video. So thank you guys so much for checking this one out. Going on 3 years here that I've been working on this build, and I couldn't be any more excited, but hope you guys are at least excited a little bit. And thank you for always supporting me and watching these videos. I appreciate you guys more than you know. I'm going to have more content out for you guys. Still working on that G35, G37 video. So I got that on the burner. It's going, but I just got to finish it. I'm feeling better now, so I'm going to start getting the videos back up more regularly for you guys. Anyways, that's it for this one. Love you guys. Thank you. Peace out, and God bless.